Yeah, Joyce, not your typical hearing today. The state's Supreme Court and Governor Jay Inslee have put all state executions on hold, but the Senate has already voted to wipe it out of the state's record books, and the House is now trying to do the same thing. Representatives this afternoon heard from a bishop from the Archdiocese of Seattle who said life is sacred. Prosecutors also support banning the death penalty, citing costs and studies that found minorities are more likely to get death sentences. But those who lost loved ones to the Green River killer use that case as an example that the death penalty can be a tool. Gary Ridgway cooperated with police, confessing to murders investigators were not able to connect him to, in exchange for taking the death penalty off the table. The question came up today: what happens with the next Gary Ridgway? But legislators also heard from a woman whose brother was killed, who says she was fine with prosecutors seeking life in prison.
I have that gut feeling in my bones, having experienced someone taking another person's life, and it's not something I can support.
If you have seen my anger today, I'm sorry. I have no apologies for it. I have no apologies for it. When the people that commit these crimes are the ones that we go out of our way for. And enough is enough.
That's State Representative Jenny Graham. Her sister, Debbie Estes, was killed by the Green River killer, Gary Ridgway, back in 1982. She says Ridgway's cooperation gave dozens of families resolution that they just would not have received without that threat of the death penalty. Representative Graham is a little odd. She's on that Law and Justice Committee. She's in the minority. She's a Republican. But she, at least in some people's opinions, grilled a couple of folks who were testifying in favor of the bill, including that bishop and someone who says he was wrongfully convicted. She says she's obviously close to this issue, passionate about it, and you can count on her testifying against it should it reach the House floor. Live in Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.